Okay, guys. So, first of all, welcome everyone in our course Spatial Database Mastery using PostgreSQL and PostGIS. As you know, now these days, what is the importance of the data? Everywhere, everywhere you can see data is very important for each and every industry. Without data, there is nothing. And because of importance of the data, now people are keeping the data using some softwares, using some application. Everywhere we only help people to collect the data. Like whenever, let's suppose if you are going to supermarket or if you are going to shopping mall. So whenever you go to shopping mall or whenever you go to the supermarket, so at the time of the billing, they are asking you what is your phone number. That is also the part of the data collection. And once you will provide your phone number, and after that, that phone number is very, very important for them. Whenever in any festival, in any special occasion, if they have any offer, if they are going to launch anything, so because now they have your number, so they can directly send you WhatsApp message or the normal message to explain about the current plan or current items. So data is very, very important. We have to understand the importance of the data. And in today's session, basically, we are going to understand about what is about this course, what are the things we are going to cover in this course, and what is exactly the data. Okay, so data, as I told you, data is like what? Data is like a gold mine. Data is like a gold mine. Each and every school, each and every college, each and every organization is basically selling the data. You know or don't know, but everyone is selling the data. Maybe the cost of the data is 1 rupee, 2 rupees, 10 rupees, 50 rupees, or 100 rupees. Each data, I am not talking about complete data. Each data cost is 10 rupees to 1000 rupees. Because, see, just you imagine, let's suppose in one school there are 200 or 300 students are there, and once these students pass after the class 10th, so all the college is trying to reach these students to get the admission. If you will not have phone numbers of the students, so blindly you will spend lakhs of rupees in your in advertisement. But when you will purchase the number from the schools, then you can directly call to the student or directly call to the guardian and explain about your college, explain about your education and all. So data is what? Data is like gold. Now after that, some more fact about the data. In real life, whenever we are talking about the data, so data is basically what? Data is the raw fact. Data is the unorganized fact. If I give you simply 101 Ravi 25 Hyderabad, then definitely for all these things there is no meaning. Why? Because we are not able to connect what is 101, what is Ravi, what is 25, or what is Hyderabad. But when I will arrange this data in proper format, when I will arrange this data in proper format, then this data will become the information. When we will arrange the unorganized data to the proper format, maybe some processing if we required, we will do some processing and we will arrange this data. So after arranging the data, you will get the clear cut understanding about that data. Then this will become what? Then this will become the information. And in our sessions, normally, whenever some important points are there, which is important for the interviews, then I will tell you, okay, please remember this point. And this course is having around 12 to 13 sessions. After each session, we will have one 10-minute multiple choice question session. So in that 10-minute session, I will show you 25 questions and we will basically just this is we will play with the questions and that questions will be related to the particular day's topic only. So the purpose of this questionnaire is everyone have to be attentive. You should have you should give your full attention to the lecture so that it will be easy for you to deliver the answer. So now I think here you guys understood what is the difference between the data and information. Data is what? Data is the unorganized fact and information is what? Information is the organized and processed form of the data. Whenever we are talking about the information, it means information is going to provide you some meaningful thing. Like here, 101 Ravi, this. Maybe we have kept these things somewhere here and there, but after that, if we will create the proper format, that format may be in Excel, maybe in Notepad, anywhere. I am not talking about the which software, which format. Anywhere, whenever we will keep this thing in the proper format, then here we can easily understand ID is 101, name is Ravi, age is 25, city is Hyderabad. So this is what? This is mainly the difference between the data and information. And here just I am trying to show you the thing in the pictorial format. So data is what? Here you can see this is very good example of the burger. Whatever the ingredient we required for the burger, if you see in left side, all the ingredient if I will keep here and there, and if I ask you ki, please have this all these ingredient, so definitely you will tell here what is this. But if I am collecting all these things, showing you and making it a proper burger and giving you in the proper format, then you will understand, oh, this is a burger. So this raw ingredient, raw form of the data is basically is the data. And after that, when we will arrange this thing in the proper manner, then it is become what? It will become the information. Now after that, the difference between the data and information in some like characteristics of the data and information. So we have data means what? Data means this is the raw fact and each and every data is basically isolated. Like in our previous example, as I shown you, 101 somewhere, Yogesh name is somewhere, city name is somewhere. each and every entity, each and every text, we don't know how this is connected with each other. So this is what? This is the isolated facts. The best example of this is if you will see the data in text, audio, video, map, images, etc. All these thing is the example of what? Example of the data. And once we will process, then it will become what? It will become the information. And information will be always what? It is meaningful. And because this is meaningful, then it is usable also. How to understand the fact that thing we can get from where? We can get from the information. And ultimately, whenever if you are talking about the information, so always information will not come first. As you know, whenever we are trying to get some information, so these information is ultimately coming from where? Coming from the data only. Like in our GIS, because as I believe everyone is from the GIS background. So in GIS, even whenever we are working with any project, so we are getting the information from different sources. Sometime, let's suppose if you are going to work in the municipal corporation project, some data you are getting in the paper format, some data you are getting in the Excel format, some data you are getting in the Word format, some data you are getting in the cotton format, because in previously the old maps always you will get in the cotton maps. So there are different type of data we are getting. After that we are processing all these data, we are doing the scanning, we are digitizing, then after we will convert or we will process this data and it will become what? It will become the information, and now it will be ready to use. Data is unorganized, as I already explained you, and this is organized. Does not depends upon info, but info is always depends upon what? Information is always depends upon the data. Data is the low level knowledge and information is the second level of the knowledge. Because data is a very initial thing. Because of that reason we are saying data is the low level knowledge. Once it will become processed, then after it will become the information, it will be the second level of the knowledge. There is no meaning and information is the meaningful. Now after that, I believe you guys understood about the difference between the data and information. Now I am coming to the database. Why database is required? Ultimately, if you have the data, then definitely you required some place where you can keep the data. Correct? If we have the data, then we required some place where we can keep the data. So here some of the daily use example, because I am normally preferring those examples which we are using frequently. Correct. I can tell you the example of the Oracle, SQL Server and all. But first we have to understand actually what these things, how this Oracle comes in the picture, how the Postgres comes in the picture. Once you understand the flow, then it will be easy for everyone. So here in our daily life, what is the example of the database? Like telephone directory, TV guide. We are using the reservation system, motor vehicle registration records, files in our computer, mobile contact list. These all are what? These all are the database. Telephone directory, where we can get any phone number, So we are saying this is what? This is the database. TV guide, reservation system. These all are what? These all are the example of the database. Now after that, as we already understand about the information, then after we understood the data, So now let's suppose you have done with the data, and now what, where we are going to keep this data. Definitely we required one place where we can keep this data properly. The place where we are keeping the data properly, that is called what? That is called the database. So here in this picture you can see data is basically we organize the data, everything is okay. But now when we are talking about the how we are keeping the data, so that in that case database comes in the picture. So in the database we have many facilities where we are keeping the data in different place, different structure, so that we can properly utilize this data. So here, if you see why the database is important, so problem without database is what? Data is the scattered everywhere. It is difficult to search the data, data duplication. In database, one thing is very important. Whenever we are talking about the database, it is not just to keep the data. There are many rules are there that we have to follow, then only we can see this is the database. Like simple, if you just take the example of your mobile phone. In your mobile phone, when you are storing any number, when why we are saying कि in our mobile also we have the database. When you are storing the phone number, if the phone number and name everything is same, and you are trying to save the number, then your mobile will give you the message this number already exists. Why? Because the reason is your mobile also following the rules of the database. So if we don't have the database data duplication problem maybe happen. Data inconsistency. What is the these all terms we will basically explain and we will understand in detail. Data inconsistency means data should be consistent in our database. No security. Like let's suppose if we will take the example of the notepad. If we will take the example of the Microsoft Excel. So notepad, if you are keeping any information in the notepad, notepad is also the example of the database, because you can keep the information, in the notepad. But do can we expect security in the notepad? Can we expect any security in the notepad? Yes or no?
No.
No. Because whenever you are keeping information in the notepad, whenever you are keeping information in the Excel, or whenever you are keeping information in the Microsoft Word, then this is basically we don't have very good security in all these document or in all these databases. Data loss risk, no proper relationships. No proper relationship means let's suppose I have one information related to the employee. I have information related to the employee, and I have somewhere information related to the employee medical history. So that kind of relation, if you want to keep in the notepad, it is very tough to keep this kind of information in the notepad. Difficult to update data. If you want to update the data frequently, if you want multiple user can update the data, that is very tough if you don't have the proper database. No multi-user access, no data integrity. So here integrity means what? Integrity means correct, consistent and trustworthy. So if let's suppose if I have any data, you have taken one data, their name. Let's suppose the employee name is Yogesh. So if the employee name is Yogesh, then everywhere, whenever I will try to get the name of the employee, that should be the Yogesh. It is not like ki in one place it is written Yogesh, in one place it is written YOGIS. Correct? So this is called what? This is called the data integrity or maintain the data integrity. So these are the problems what we are facing when if we don't have the proper database. How the database will solve the issues? If you are going to use any database, so it will provide you the facility of the centralized storage. We all are from the GIS background and we all are working in the company. You guys already know people, or you guys already heard about something like there is a database, name is the Oracle or SQL Server or Postgres and DB2. There are many databases are there. So database first it will provide us the facility of the centralized storage. Once the things will keep in the centralized, then there will be very less chance of the duplicacy. Fast searching, we can get the facility of fast searching of the data, no duplication, consistent data, security and access control. Whenever we are using the database, so automatically we will get many security and access control on that. We will get the facility of the backup and recovery. If we will have the proper database, there we will get the facility of the relationship, how one thing or how one table is related with the another table, how employee information is related to the employee medical insurance information. Easily we can update our data if we will have the proper database. Multi-user access. Now in our GIS industry, if we are able to create the version, if we are able to work with the versioning data, this is because of what? This is because of the database. If you will not use the database, you cannot create the version. Like just a very simple example, I will take from the GIS only. We all are using the ESRI, ArcGIS or ArcGIS Pro. In ArcGIS Pro, whenever you are working with the file geodatabase, or whenever you are working with the personal geodatabase, or whenever you are working with the shape files, some of the facilities you are getting in that database, but in that database you will not get the multi-user access. We cannot create a file geodatabase and we can give multiple user access on that, correct? So there are there are many databases are there which basically having some different property. Some databases will have some different property. So what the database we are talking, that is the full-fledged database where we will get the multi-user access, data integrity and everything. Now, when we are talking about, because today we are talking about the database, so in the database, there are four very important points we have. One is information, second one is the data, third one is the database, and fourth one is the RDBMS. So we have to understand the difference between the information, data, database, and RDBMS. I believe some people maybe knows about little bit, but in today's session or after today's session, you will be clear about the differences between the information, data, database, and RDBMS. So now, as we discussed, database is basically what? Database basically is the place. Database is the place where we can organize our data and we can keep our data properly. Like in the example of the database is the bank customer data, hospital patient record, school student record, or e-commerce product data. In our daily life, we all are using these kind of services, correct? Everyone using the Amazon, everyone using the Swiggy, Zomato, and all. So in all these platform, if you will see, you will get all your data in proper organized way. Like if you want to find out your order history, you can easily go to the order menu and you can see all your orders. If you go to the bank, if you want to find out the one last 1 month bank statement, you can easily find out. How this is possible? Because of what? Because of bank or any organization is using proper database. Now after that, we will come to the DBMS. What is the DBMS? Can anyone tell me what is the meaning of the DBMS, or what you are thinking कि DBMS is, what is the, how the DBMS help us to control all these things? Anyone can tell about the DBMS?
Database management system.
Correct.
Basically, here we can uh, structure. We can keep our data in a particular structure, and it can be updated and retrieved
Correct.
as per the user's requirement. It is in a more structured way.
Okay. So here the
And
thing is,
create actually means creation of the data, deletion of the data, retrieval of the data, updation of the data. All these processes we do time to time. It is possible, and it can be accessed by the multi users.
okay. So here I just want to change little bit. Actually, whenever we are talking about the database and DBMS, so one thing always remember, let's suppose this is the database. Okay. Database, as we just discussed, database is the place where we are keeping our data in proper structured way. Correct? This is clear, I think. Correct? Database is clear. Ki database is the place where we are keeping our data in proper structure. Now, the thing is, I want to maintain this data. Okay, I want to maintain, like one simple real life example. If you go to the library, in library there are n number of books are there. Correct? In library there are n number of books are there. To whom you connect, to process any book, or if you want to take a book, if you want to deposit the book, if you have any problem with the book, to whom we are connecting? If we are going to library, in library there are thousands of books are there. Correct? So whenever we are going to library, if we want to take a book, or if we want to receive the book or deposit the book, so to whom we are connecting?
Yeah,
Library.
the admin will connect first.
Admin. Correct? Means that is the proper word is the librarian. Correct? So
Yes.
whenever if we are going to library, so we are connected with the librarian. Librarian is the person who is basically taking care of entire library. So similarly, this is your library. Okay, here we are keeping all the books, or we are keeping all the data. On top of this database, we have what? On top of this database, we have one layer. This layer is basically what? This layer is for the DBMS, Database Management System. DBMS is what? DBMS is the system, or DBMS is the software which help us to maintain this data. Means if you want to create data, delete data, update data, insert data, anything if you want to do here, we have to use what? We have to use the system DBMS. So sometime basically you cannot use alone this database, or you cannot use alone this DBMS. So because of that reason, in most of the cases, this data DBMS is basically covering everything. And now basically inside the DBMS itself, we have what? We have the database. Understood? What is the database and what is the DBMS? This is clear, I think. So DBMS is what? DBMS is the system which help us to operation on the database. That operation may be create the database, insert data, update data, delete data, retrieve data, manage security, anything with what we want to do, it will basically allow us to do all these things. So this is the role of the DBMS. There are many DBMS systems are there in market. We have the PostgreSQL, we have the MySQL, we have the Oracle, we have the SQL Server, and we have the MongoDB. So here, maybe you can ask me ki, what is basically PostgreSQL and MySQL and Oracle and SQL Server and all, and why basically we have all these different DBMS. So my simple answer is, whenever you want to purchase a car in market, there are so many different companies cars are available. We have from Nano to Audi, or we have from Nano to Rolls-Royce. Nano is also a car. Rolls-Royce is also a car. What is the difference between the Nano and Rolls-Royce? Can anyone tell me what is the difference between Nano and Rolls-Royce?
Costing and also features also different.
Costing and features, correct? So the same thing here also. All these database, what the name I have mentioned here, all are the car. All are the car. We cannot say this is not the car, this is not the car. All are the car. The basic feature, basic feature of any DBMS is that allow us to keep the data. This allow us to keep the data, insert the data, update the data, delete the data, select the data. These all are the basic feature of the car. Car has 4 wheel, car has 1 steering, car has clutch, car has brake, car can accommodate 4 people. This is the definition of the car. So all these car will provide you that feature. That is 100% sure. Otherwise, government will reject you are not the car. But on top of that, companies provide you some additional features. Why people are taking the Audi? That cost is 1 crore, 2 crore, 50 lakhs, 70 lakhs. Because it will take the pickup in 1 second. The maximum speed of Audi is, actually I don't know, maximum of Audi is maybe the 200 or 300. Maybe in Audi you will get 30-40 airbags. So these are the add-on features what you are getting, and because of that reason costing will be high. Same thing in the DBMS also. Based on the different feature, based on the different facilities, pricing is different, but the core functionality you will get in all the DBMS. Okay? Understood, guys? What is the DBMS and what is the role of the DBMS? I think, is it clear to everyone?
Yes.
Now
Yes.
after that, Just I have given here the tabular form, this characteristics of the database and DBMS. Database meaning is what? This is the collection of the data, and DBMS is what? Software to manage the data. Purpose of the database is store the information. Purpose of the DBMS is manage and control the database. Type of the database is the data. Type of the DBMS is the software. Example like student record, and here PostgreSQL, MySQL. Nature, collection of the organized data, and this is the software which help us to manage our data. Store data, provide interface to manage data. Component, we will have the component table, view, and all these things. Everything we will discuss in detail. Don't worry. Okay, whatever the word, if you are not understanding, leave it. Table, view, and all these all things we are going to discuss in detail in our subsequent sessions. In DBMS, include database itself along with the management tool. Uses also you already know. Database we are using to keep the data or store the data, and DBMS we are using to maintain our data. So here, if you see, again I am coming with one picture. Whenever you are storing the data, so let's suppose in your mobile, you have stored all these phone numbers. You have stored all these phone numbers, but on top of this database, on top of all this data, mobile provide you the facility where you can search the data, you can search the mobile number, you can edit the mobile number, and you can delete the mobile number. So the mobile, inside the mobile memory, we have the place where we can keep all these contact. That is the place where basically it is called what? It is called the database. When we are storing each and every record, that record is called what? That record is called the small piece of the data. And this software, which basically we are using to control your contacts, the software we are using to search contact, edit contact, or delete contacts, that software is called what? That software is called the DBMS software. Now after that, what is the benefit of the DBMS we have? DBMS provide us what? It will provide us the data storage, data integrity, data security, concurrency control, data recovery, scalability, performance, and data analysis. So here, one by one, you can understand each and every terminology. So benefit of the data DBMS, as I told you, normally whenever in future you will work with the database. So currently we are discussing about the database and DBMS, but later on you will tell only one terminology, that is the DBMS. So DBMS means this is the combination of what? This is the combination of the database and one software or one system which help us to maintain our data. So it will provide us the facility of what? Data storage, data integrity. Data integrity means each and every information what we will have in our database, that should be authentic. There is no duplicacy. Each and every information should be authentic. After that, we have the data security. Data security, again I am telling, as I already explained you, there are many different type of databases are there. Each and every database's pricing are different. And why the pricing are different? Because databases giving you different features or functionality. Just for your knowledge, the most costly database, anyone knows which one is the most costly database out of all these databases? Anyone knows which one is the costly database? Which price is very high?
I think G small world.
G small world is basically, this is the software. This is the GIS software. We are talking about the database. Database means what? Database means the Postgres, Oracle, SQL Server, MySQL, Oracle, IBM DB2. These all are the databases.
Okay.
So out of all
SQL?
these,
SQL?
no, sir. Out of all these softwares, out of all these DBMS, most costly is the Oracle. Because the reason is Oracle provide us very high level of security on their data. And because of that reason, Indian government, all the big organization, our railway system, our bank system, everyone is using what? Everyone is using the Oracle database. Because the reason is, as I told you, Oracle, because all these organization, for them, the most important thing is the security. No one can penetrate their data. So because of that reason, security is the main feature what they required. So most of the people are using what? Oracle. And ultimately, everything in this world, always remember one thing, in this world, everything is depend upon your usability. What is your use? Based on that, we need to use the software. Based on that, we need to use the car. Based on that, we need to use the bike and all. If our purpose is small, we just want to develop one application and that application is not much concerned about the security, then simply we can use any database which we can get in very less price. And as everyone knows, now these days, each and every softwares are basically in two different categories. One is the licensed software, other one is the open source software. Licensed software, you have to pay the money. Open source software, free of cost, you can get. So whatever the databases I already shown you, out of all these databases, Postgres database is open source database. This is the free database which we can download from the web directly. We can install in our machine and we can directly use. Even though this database is free, but this database is very useful database. And I cannot compare with the Oracle, but this database also provide us all the features which we will get in any standard database. Okay, so now with the next feature is the concurrency control. Concurrency control means what? Multiple user want to access the same thing. Then how database will handle? So database will provide us this functionality. Data recovery. This is also very important for the bank and other organization. Let's suppose some disaster came or something happened, then how we can recover the data. So data recovery facility also provided by the DBMS. Scalability. Scalability means today my business is small, tomorrow my business is big. Then is there any facility in the database where if I scale my business up, then it will support my business. So DBMS will support for the scalability also. Performance is also very good. Like as I already told you, Excel is also kind of DBMS. But if you will keep 5 lakhs, 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs record in the Excel sheet, then maybe you cannot run any query properly, correct? For the data analysis, now these days many people are doing the course database plus some tool to show the information in pie chart and chart graph and all these things, correct? So some people who are working in the data analysis, for them also database is very, very useful. And even irrespective of any use, irrespective of any organization where you are working, database is the must. Everyone has to know about the database. Otherwise, otherwise, if you will have like 10-year experience, 15-year experience, you don't know about the database, then there is no meaning. You have to know about the database. So these are the benefit of what? These are the benefit of the DBMS. And now, as I told you, the evolution of the database, how the database evaluated. So first, everything is start from very basic. So first, it is start from the flat file database, like we are using the CSV file. Then after we have the hierarchical database, network database, relational database, non-relational database. Now here we have to understand what are these database and which purpose what database is useful. Flat file database is the very old means structure of the database, and even now also sometime for the local calculation and sometime for the temporary calculation we are using the CSV files. Hierarchical database. This database is very, very useful for creating the database for any organization. Any organization where we will have the hierarchy. Any organization where we will have hierarchy, like we have the CMD. CMD, after CMD we have 2 3 upper management, then after we have managers, vice president, we have a manager, then employee, then then the next level of the employee. So if you are going to work with that kind of project where things arranged in the hierarchical order, then we will use what? We will use the hierarchical database. Network database. Let's suppose you are working with any navigation project. In the navigation project, there is no hierarchy. We want to connect with node, edges, road, point and all. So in that case, we can use what? We can use the network database. If you are going to work with any project where many things are interconnected. Many things are interconnected means, let's suppose I am working in the municipality project. In the municipality, I have one information where I have detail of the parcel. I have one place where I have the rate of the parcel. Another place where I have the owner of the parcel. But whenever I want to connect all these things, so in that situation, I have to use what? I have to use the relational database. When you are coming to the Facebook, when let's suppose we are coming to the Facebook or WhatsApp or LinkedIn, in Facebook, we are sending the text, we are sending the image, we are sending the photo. So there is basically no relation. We can send any data to anyone. So in that situation, non-relational database we are using. So these database, relational database, Oracle, SQL Server, Postgres, whatever the database we have, I told you, these all databases are the example of the relational database, and in market, the most useful database is the relational database only. So relational database, we have the example Oracle, SQL Server, Postgres, IBM DB2. There are many more databases are there. And when we are coming to the non-relational database, so MongoDB people are using. One more database is very good. I have used that database previously in one of the project. That database name is the Elasticsearch. Elasticsearch database is also very good. That database is basically keeping the data in the text format or JSON format. So for the text-based searching, this database is very, very useful, where things are keeping in non-object form. The relational database keeping the things in the object form, but in the non-relational database like MongoDB, one more word you guys already heard, na NoSQL database, correct? So this MongoDB, Elasticsearch, these all are the example of the NoSQL database. This is the history of the DBMS. Just quickly you can see, and most of the things you guys already know. We have started keeping the data from the magnetic tape to the hard disk to hard disk data. Then after we have relational model, parallel and distribution DB. Then after SQL, and now basically we are in the modern era of the DBMS. So most of the databases what we are using in the modern time, that is the relational database, especially for our purpose. Like we are from the GIS, or we are going to execute any project. Either this is related to the GIS or non-GIS, but in most of the cases, relational database is useful for us. But specifically, if you are working in the network project, then network database is also very, very useful for us. These are the different type of the database management system we have, as we already have seen: relational database, hierarchical database, network database, object-oriented database, and NoSQL database. NoSQL database is also very, very common these days because of the social media. All the social media, all the social media is basically maintaining two databases. One is the normal database or relational database where they are keeping the important information, and one place there they are keeping all these mixed type of information like image, text, video, all, so that their searching mechanism will be very, very fast. So that is basically what, that is the NoSQL database. Whenever you will have time, and whenever I will have time, then I will try to deliver one more course, that is for the Elasticsearch or MongoDB. So that course is basically, this is a short-term course, and in that course basically we will show you ki how this NoSQL database or Elasticsearch database is very, very good for the fast processing. So here we have the DBMS, like a relational database where the structure is what, table, hierarchical database, and here I have given the example also. Relational database, the main entity is the tables, and we are using this in the banking. Hierarchical database is this we are using in the organization. Network database, that is basically we are using in the social media network. And the main entity of the network database is what, graph. Object oriented database we are using in the software systems, and NoSQL because this is flexible. Here you no need to define how many column we required to keep in the to keep in the table. Because of that reason we are saying this is the NoSQL. There is no limit, so that it is very, very flexible. So the all the big data, complex data, and mixed data, in that case we are using what, we are using the NoSQL database. What are the course benefit you will get? So here basically, as you know, this course we are going to cover spatial database as well as non-spatial database. This course is not just limited to the GIS. Okay. One thing I just want to clear here. This course is not just limited to the GIS. Once you have done this course, after that you can use this knowledge in GIS based development. You can use this knowledge in the non-GIS based development. And one more thing I just want to tell you, in this course also we will have some 5% or 10% development. Okay, so please be ready. Please be ready for the small piece of the development, and that is very important also. So everyone, one thing is very important. You guys have to spend at least 1 hour time for practice of the questionnaire, what we are going to provide. So here in the non-spatial, you are going to understand how non-spatial things we are keeping in the database, and in the real life projects, how we are using the non-spatial data, and similarly the spatial part of the database, how we are doing the spatial query, how we are processing the spatial data in the spatial database. These all things we are going to cover in our course. And this course, as I already told you, approximately based on my course design, it should take 14 classes. Okay, 4 sessions it required. If everything goes fine, maybe sometime what happens, sometime if we are stuck in the development, or if I am spending some time to explain you, so maybe that time one session increase. Okay, otherwise the total number of session will be 14. After completion of the course, you will get certificate. Here, one thing I just want to tell you, this certificate is the free of cost, and this certificate everyone will get. There is one more certificate is available, because recently, before 1 year, we have tie up with one organization in Delhi, ITT Council. That certificate also you can get, but for that certificate, you have to pay additional 750 rupees. There is no restriction. I will just send you the sample copy of that certificate. If you require, you will tell. I will fill the form, send the detail to the Delhi office, and you will get the certificate. That certificate also very good, but for that we need to spend 750 rupees. But this is not mandatory from my side. Okay, don't like I am forcing you to take this certificate. And this course is designed for who want to do something out of the box. Like you guys are here, it means one thing is clear, you want to do something, because of that reason you are here. Otherwise, if people are busy with the digitization, then no one can explain things to those people. Doesn't know about the DBMS, if you don't know about the DBMS and data, then this course is for you. Want to learn database development, then everything we are going to cover in this session. And one thing I just want to tell you, first of all, my means my hope is everyone has to complete this course properly. Properly means, as I told you, in this course we have 10% development also. Okay, that 10% development, if you are going to skip, then also there is no problem, your work will not hold, you will do very well. Okay, but if you will spend some time for the practice, and if you will learn the development and complete that 10% part also, then it will be miracle. This will be very, very good for you. Okay, so implement DBMS development in your project, implement database with QGIS and ArcGIS. How we are connecting, how we are connecting database with the QGIS or ArcGIS. And if you want to make a career in the GIS data developer or GIS data analysis, then this course is very, very useful. And if you want to work as a database solution architect, then this course is very, very useful, because in this course you will get the pura holistic view of the Postgres database or any database, so that you can, in your project, if you want to implement the Postgres, then after learning everything, you can easily implement without any problem. What is the course roadmap? So we are going to discuss about basics of the data, basics of the DBMS, basics of the RDBMS, spatial data, creation of the database, creation of the spatial database, spatial and non-spatial query. This last two part is the what I told you 10% creation of the stored procedure and trigger. I will try my best. Okay, normally I am always trying my best to explain the coding in very easy way. But if you guys have to do practice for each and every part, you have to do practice. Without practice, there is nothing. Okay. Now after that, how to process with the this one that you guys already know. Now after that, as I told you, okay, so we will start. Everyone, please unmute yourself, and we'll start from the question 1. Each and every question I kept from the session only. Okay, so maybe there is any question you will get which is out of the syllabus. Okay, so tell me what is the data?
It's a raw facts.
This is the raw facts. Very good. What is the
Raw facts.
information?
Processed and meaningful data.
Process and meaningful data. Which of the following is an example of the data?
101 Ravi 25 Hyderabad.
Okay. B. A database is
An organized collection of data.
very good. Which of the following is not an example of the database?
Operating
system.
What is the DBMS?
Software to manage databases.
Which of the following is the example of the DBMS?
PostgreSQL.
Data is considered
Low level knowledge.
low level knowledge. Information is
Organized and meaningful.
very good. Organized and meaningful. Which problem occurs without database?
Data
Data duplication. Very good. What does a database provide?
Centralized storage.
What does a database provide? Centralized storage. Which feature ensure no duplicate data?
Data redundancy. So
See, simply have written a no duplication. Which of the following is the benefit of the DBMS? Data security. Which DBMS features allows multiple users to access the data? Multi-user access. Which database type came first? Flat file. Which database type uses tables?
network.
Which database type uses tables? Relational database. MongoDB is an example of non-relational database. Which DBMS is the relational? PostgreSQL. Very good. What is the data integrity?
Data accuracy and consistency.
Data accuracy and consistency. Which of the following is not a benefit of the DBMS? Which of the following is not?
Data inconsistency.
Which problem is solved by the DBMS? Which problem is solved by the DBMS? Okay. Which is an example of real life database uses? TV Guide. Which DBMS function allows inserting data? Insert. Which course benefit related to the maps?
Spatial data.
Spatial data.
Processing.
Spatial data you can say, because is image processing is the processing, correct?
Processing.
No.
Yes.
Spatial data is the part which we are
Data.
basically for the related to the map.
Yes.
Okay, guys. So thank you for